My definition of birth justice. So, my definition of birth justice has definitely changed a lot since I started birth work in 2007. Um, I would say that my definition of birth justice is complete freedom, freedom from laws and freedom from government. And this is not the usual, but that has that's how my definition has evolved. My definition of birth justice is the freedom to follow my instincts without any intervention. My definition of birth justice is freedom to create and to live in an environment that where I and everybody else is held accountable for their health, and yeah, where I am the head decision maker of my health and my body, and everybody else is also. That's my definition of birth justice. And as far as when my birth justice journey began, I will say that my birth justice journey began in at birth because I am my mother's second birth, but her first home birth. And of all those children, I am also the only one who's had a home birth. So I think that definitely affected me. And part of a big part of my birth justice journey is also when I went to midwifery school in Miami and met many beautiful black women and women of color, and that really just it's just an empowering thing to learn about birth with women of color and black women. That's just empowering, period. And so all that's really where my birth justice journey began. As far as where I am now, I am in what we now know as Benin Republic, which is in West Africa. And I am specifically in the Dahomey area in Ouida, in South Benin. And I wouldn't say that there's a birth justice movement per se, just because the environment here is different. The people living on the land are indigenous to the land, and so there isn't this as much of a fight, and so I wouldn't say there's a birth justice movement at all, actually, but the positives of this environment is that because people who are living here are indigenous to the land, they're more used to using traditional ways, and they're more knowledgeable of traditional ways and traditional medicines of the land. So that means the plants and the food and the animals and different things that you use and for your health. They're more tied to it. They're more knowledgeable about it, and they're more trusting of it, simply because that's what they see. They've always seen being done. So it makes a big difference when the population is indigenous to the land that they're living in. And so, and also, they're the government is less involved in people's everyday lives. If you want a home birth, then you have a home birth. Nobody is really trying to stop you from doing that. And so, yeah, so those are all positives that I see, because people are just more free. They're more they're more stressed about like government helping them, and they know how to take care of themselves. They know how to find what they need on the land, and how to use it. And that's really what I would advise in the U.S. for more people to start embracing, start embracing self care. And I don't mean the whole, get your nails done or sleeping or things like that. I mean, like, literally rely on yourself for your health, which means no more, not to rely on the government, not to rely on laws and policy changes. So, and in order to do that, you have to learn how to take care of yourself using the land. You have to learn how to be self-sufficient. You have to learn to trust your body, and you have to learn how your body works. And so those are the things that you have to do in order to be able to really take care of yourself, to really trust yourself, and to really learn how to live a healthy, robust, happy life without relying on government or laws and policy changes. I think that is something that I would definitely advise for the U.S. and any other land where the population is not necessarily indigenous to the land. And so for Black America, learn about your ancestors and how they took care of themselves. We talk about the Black American and ancestors and their ways. A lot of ways a lot of times we talk down about their health practices or their diets, but honestly, they were healthy. They were healthier than the population now, because look at what they were able to do every day. And so there's definitely a lot of gems, a lot of things there that we need to learn, and there are plenty of people. I'm so happy and to be surrounded by birth workers right now who are really trying to make it happen for their communities, to learn and to be able to thrive off of knowledge of the land, knowledge of herbs, and knowledge of nutrition and their bodies. There's plenty of people out there teaching. You just have to seek out your healers. You can't, you have to seek out your healers and learn about your ancestors and how they took care of themselves. So yes, that is that's me. So my name is Mojisola. I am a birth keeper, and I'm also an unapologetic African and a philosopher. And I host birth education retreats here in West Africa for birth workers of African descent from all over the world, and to come and exchange knowledge with birth workers here, and to see the lifestyle here. I think it's important for everyone to learn from indigenous people, because if you want to live a sustainable life, if you want to live a life that is independent, healthy, and sustainable, you have to learn from those who know, and those who know are indigenous people. Okay, so yes, that's what I do. All right, thank you so much for having me, and peace.